or where we're finding products. So for example, if you want to find 0 times something, what's the trick? Well, if you do 0 times no matter what, it's always going to be 0. So it's always 0. So for example, if you do 534 times 0, the answer is 0. What if you do 1 times something? Well, 1 times something is going to give you directly the other factor. So for example, it's always the factor. So for example, if you want to do 5 times 1 or 1 times 5, okay, you have, this is a factor, this is a factor. So 1 times 5 is going to give you 5 because you only repeated 1. So it's always I'm going to write the other factor. Okay. 1 times 5 is 5. So it's always the other factor than the 1. That's easy so far. What about the 2? When you want to do 2 times something, just double it. Double the factor. So for example, if you want to do 2 times 7, it's the same as 7 plus 7, and you know that's 14. So 2 times 7 is 14. So you have to remember 2 times means you double it. You want to do 3 times something. Well, of course, you can always count by 3, but that's not always easy. So what you can do is you can do the double, and then you just add the factor. So for example, if you want to do 3 times 5, you know 3 is 2 plus 1, right? So you can do double 5 plus 1 more. So that's going to be 2 times 5 is 10 plus 5 is 15. I'm going to show you another one. If you want to do 3 times 11, for example, you can do 2 times 11 plus 11. So 2 times 11 is 22 plus 11, that's 23. If you want to do 4 times something, well, we know that 4 is equal to 2 times 2, right? So when we want to do 4 times, we can do double, and then we can double again. So for example, if you want to do 4 times 7, you can do 2 times 7, and then after you're going to double it. So first you do 2 times 7, which is 14, then you double that again, which is 28. So when you think about 7, you double and then double again. When we do the 5, okay, we can use our fingers and count by 5 because we're really good, right? But if we count by 5, 5 times 1, that's 5. 5 times 2, that's 10. 5 times 3, that's 15. 5 times 4, that's 20. 5 times 5, that's 25. When you look at your answers, what do you realize? It always ends with a 5 or a 0. Right? And if you look at just a 0, when does it end with a 0? Oops. When does it end with a 0? It's always when we multiply by even. So if you multiply by even, it's going to finish with a 0. And if you multiply by odd, it's going to finish by a 5. So that's a trick to help you with the 5s. For the 6, if you want to do the 6, you know that 6 is 2 times 3, right? So what you can do times 3, and then after you double it. So for example, if you want to do 6 times 7, you can do 3 times 7, and then after you're going to double that. 3 times 7, if you remember how we do 3 times 7, we can do 2 times 7, that's 14, plus 7, 21. Then we're going to write 2 times 21 break it down between two things that you know. You know your 5 times table and you know your 2 times table. So if you had to do 7 times 9, for example, well, you can do 5 times 9 plus 2 times 9. 5 times 9, 40. No, sorry, it's 55 because if you have an odd, and 9 is a odd, that's an end and a 5, sorry, plus 18. And if you want to add them up, you can write them like this. So you get 63. I'm going to see another trick for the 9s later that's going to be a bit easier. For the 8, when you want to do the 8, you know that 8 is 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8. So what it means is you can do double, double, and then double. So for example, if you want to do 8 times 6, well, you can do 2 times 6, and then after you're going to double that, and then after you're going to double that. So 2 times 6 is 12. You're going to double 12. Which is 24, and you're going to double 24, which is 48. So in your head, you can just think about double, and then double, and then double again. And you're good with doubles. So you're able to find your answer quickly. For the 9, you can use your fingers, right? Finger trick. Or you can also remember, okay, so the finger trick, for example, if you want to do 2 times 9, you have your fingers, 1, 2, you're going to bring it down, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And then the other one, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you bring down the second finger, because you're doing 2, what is left here? You have 1, and what is left here? You have 8. So your answer is 18. That's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it, if you look at the 9, 2 times 9 is 18, 3 times 9 is 27, 4 times 9 is 6. You're going to see something. Look at the pattern. Look at the ones. What's the pattern with the 1? So look at the ones. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's going down. Then look, if I want to do, and if you look at the tens, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I want to do 2 times 9, I know this is going to start with a 1. And when you do 1 plus 8, it equals 9. 2 plus 7 equals 9. 3 plus 6 equals 9. It's always going to give you 9. So that's another trick to remember. Okay? So for example, if I do 6 times 9, the answer cannot be 57 because when I do 5 plus 7, it's not equal to 9. So you have to make sure that your number, your 2 digits, when you add them, it's going to give you 9. For the 10, that's really easy. When you do the 10s, you still count by 10, right? Also, you realize that you just add a 0, right? So when you want to do, let's say, 5 times 10, you're going to write your 5 and then you add the 0. If you want to do 7 times 10, you write your 7 and then you add a 0. That's really easy. I think you're really good with the 10s. 11 also is pretty easy. When you count by 11, okay, you're still counting by 11, you get this. So we're doing plus 10 plus 1, plus 10 plus 1. So what happened? See, this is 1 times 11, 2 times 11, 3 times 11. So really what you do is if you have to do 3 times 11, you're going to write it 2 times. If you do 6 times 11, you're going to write your 6 2 times. After 99, if you add 9, you get 108. And you can then you add 9. I think, well, wait, we're done. Yeah, we'll finish at 1 way. Because that's our 12. This is 9 times 11. Oh, wait. 10 times 11. Sorry, I added 9. I need to add 11. So 10 times 11, that's easy. It's 11, you just add a 0. And then 11 times 11, you take your 110 plus 11. So that's 121. And 12 times 11, you take this plus 11, 132. So you have to remember, these ones are maybe a bit harder. Try to remember them. And the last but not the least, when you have to do 12 times, we know that 12 is 10 plus 2. We know our 10 times table, we're really good. We know our 2 times table, we're really good. So we should be good with the 12. If you want to do 12 times 7, it's the same as 10 plus 2 times 7. And it's the same as 10 times 7 plus 2 times 7. You know 10 times 7, that's 70 plus 14. 70 plus 14 is 84. Let's try another one. Want to do 12 times 9. What do you have to do? You break it down. Then, oops. So you're going to do 10 times 9 plus 2 times 9. That's 90. 18. If you need, line them up to add them up. So, anyway. So I think with that now you're good to, those are all the tricks you can get to memorize. But remember that it's only going to be the grade 4 and you're going to need to know them by heart. In grade 3, you have to know how to make them up.